Today we are going to see our next chapter of grammar, that is the last chapter for this unit. And the composition, there will be two remaining chapters for composition, and we will take both the chapters. Okay, today and tomorrow we will cover those chapters. Now we will start this chapter, that is chapter number 8, verbs. So what are the verbs? A verb is often defined as doing word or an action word. Okay, so in the earlier classes, in the earlier classes we have seen the verbs as action words. Okay, so it is almost impossible to make sentence without using a verb. This is mostly true as verbs tell us what people, animals or things do. Means उस सेंटेंस को बनाना ऑलमोस्ट इम्पॉसिबल है जिसमें वर्ब ना हो. ओके, सो फॉर एग्जाम्पल, ही स्पोक ट्रूथ, birds fly, raise your hand, the bell rang loudly, the fire burns. So in all of these sentences, so spoke, fly, raise, rang, burn, the words which are in bold, that recognize or that represents the verb. Means spoke means बोलना. Okay, और या बोल चुका है. Fly means flying उड़ना. Raise उठाना, raise your hands. Okay, the bell rang loudly, bell जोर से बजी. The fire burns, आग लग गई वहां पे. So these are the words that shows doing something, that it is doing something. यहाँ पे कुछ हो रहा है. Okay, so in every sentence something is happening, so that's why verbs are compulsory in every sentence, almost compulsory. Okay, the words spoke, rang, fly, burns, raise show us actions done by subjects in each sentence. Thus, the verb is an action word. Okay. There is another group of verbs that do not describe or express an action. These are called auxiliary verbs or helping verbs. They tell us about a state of being or existence. They help to form tenses, negatives, and questions. Example: form of be and do, be, do, and have. Am, is, are, was, were, does, did, as, has, had. Model: will, would, shall, should, can, could, may, might, must, dare to, used to, need to, ought to. Others: smell, taste, keep, remain, seem, appear, hear, look, or became, etc. So, as we have seen that uh, auxiliary verbs, or we can say helping verbs. So, auxiliary verbs, what are the auxiliary verbs, we will see that. And मतलब auxiliary verbs को छोड़ के जितने भी verbs है, जितनी भी words है जिनमें हमें लग रहा है कि यहाँ पे कुछ हो रहा है, doing action words, so that are the others, means verbs. There are basically verbs, and other than this there are auxiliary verbs, means be, do, have, am, is, are, where, does, did, has, had. Models means फॉर्म. इस बी का फॉर्म क्या हो गया? बिकेम. ओके, और डू का डज, एंड हैव का हैव डन और हैवंट. ओके, दैट एम, इज, आर, वॉज, वेयर, डज, डीड, हैज, हैड. ये सब कुछ है जो वर्ड्स ये हम यूज करते हैं ऑक्सिलरी वर्ड के लिए. विल, that he will do something, she would do, she would do, then I shall do it, I should do it, I can do it, I could do it may become or it may do, I might be there, I must do it, I dare to complete this work, I used to sing, I need to do it, I ought to do it. So these are the auxiliary verbs. Now how to do this, how to यूज दिस ऑक्सिलरी वर्ब. अब जो सिंपल वर्ब्स हैं उनको यूज करना तो हमने ये एग्जांपल्स में देख लिया कि ही स्पोक और बर्ड्स फ्लाई, रेज योर हैंड्स, द बेल रैंग लाउडली, द फायर बर्न्स. सो ये जो वर्ड्स हैं, जो हाईलाइटेड वर्ड्स है ब्लैक कलर में, बोल्ड में, सो वो क्या है? सिंपल वर्ब्स. ओके. नाउ व्हाट आर द ऑक्सिलरी वर्ब्स एंड हाउ टू, मतलब उसको कैसे पता चलेगा कि यहाँ पे कौन सा ऑक्सिलरी वर्ब यूज करना है. सो वी विल सी दैट, क्योंकि सिंपल वर्ब्स तो सबको पता ही है. इफ in a sentence we can see that there is a action word, there is a word that describing something, and describing, we cannot say describing, we can, that is doing something, and that is we can say the verb, uh, that is describing the action done by the subject. So in the every sentence there is a subject and there is a verb. Okay, so what is the subject here in this sentence? He spoke the truth. So what will be the subject? He will be the subject. And what he is doing? He is speaking. He spoke means वो बात कर रहा था. तो कौन बात कर रहा था? He. So he will be the subject. And who is describing, which word is describing the doing of the subject? Spoke. So spoke will be the verb. Okay, now we will see the auxiliary verb by the exercise number 8.1. What is the exercise number 8.1? I will describe the whole exercise, and just you have to copy it down in your notebook and write carefully, and try to understand it. Now, filling the blanks with the correct verb from the brackets. So these types questions can become in your exam, so you have to listen it very carefully. We dash early for the meeting. We are. Okay, we are early for the meeting. Why are and why not am? Why not am? Because we use am for word I. Okay, I am early for the morning because it is singular. For the singulars we use am. Okay, I am. Then it is plural. So plural के लिए क्या use करते हैं? Are. So we are using are. We are early for the meeting. Yesterday was Friday. So as we are using, the subject is yesterday. Okay, always concentrate when we are talking about the verbs. Always concentrate on the subject. What is the subject? Subject is he. So we will see the options. What should we use here? And then we will decide what to do. Okay, yesterday. Yesterday means what? कल. जो बीता हुआ कल है वो. काल. Okay. So there are two options. Is and was. Is present tense के लिए use होता है. We all know that. Present tense आज के लिए use होता है. And was is for मतलब जो हो चुका है. कल तो हो चुका है. So we will use yesterday was Friday. Okay. We will use yesterday was Friday. Next. My father dash a doctor. My father. Okay. So father is only one. Okay. So we are using is here. My father is a doctor. Why we are not using are? Because there are not so many fathers. Okay. There is only single one father. My father is a doctor. So we will use is here. They dash tried after long journey. They dash tired after the long journey. They. So they is a singular word or a singular noun or a plural one pronoun we can say. So it will, what we will use if there is he was, अगर हम यहाँ पे करते he dash tired after the long journey. So tired यहाँ पे ed लगा हुआ है. ओके, सो ed इज द पास्ट टेंस, राइट. इज द पास्ट टेंस, तो ये चीज हो चुकी है. एंड देयर आर ऑप्शंस आर आल्सो was एंड वेयर. सो दे अब यहाँ पे सब्जेक्ट देखना है हमें. सो व्हाट इज द सब्जेक्ट? दे इज अ प्लूरल वन. ओके, and the next one word is ed and options are also giving of past tense. ये जर्नी के बाद ही टायर्ड होगा ना, जर्नी से पहले तो टायर्ड नहीं होंगे. सो थकेगा कब? जर्नी के बाद ही. सो व्हाट आर द ऑप्शन? was and where. If the word subject is singular we will use was, and here the subject is plural one, so we will use where. Okay, were, where. They were tired after the long journey. Now the simple, very very simple one. I dash happy here. I is happy here. No, we will not use. If we are toilet, if we are talking about the second person or the third person, that Rahul is happy here, or Rima is happy here. So we can use is, but we are talking about ourselves. So what we will use, we are not using our our name. Okay, we can't say that. So what we will use, I. For ourselves, we are using the pronouns that is I. So I am happier. I am happier. This will be the sentence. Now the question number 2, filling the blanks with appropriate auxiliaries. So there are no options. So in this case, what should we do? We will see. We dash help the poor. We should help the poor. Okay. So we can use the uh, 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 auxiliaries, auxiliary verb should. Why we are using should? Now again we will see the subject. What is the subject? We. Okay. And now see how we will use. Okay, auxiliary verb. So what are the auxiliary verb? Will, would, shall, should, can, could, may, might, must, dare to, used to, need to, ought to. So why we are using should only? So here the reason is, if it is we, so we, हम I यहाँ पे सिंगुलर रहता है, तो हम क्या यूज करते हैं? शाल. ओके, फॉर सिंगुलर we will use shall, but it is your plural one, so we will use should. Means हमें गरीबों की मदद करनी चाहिए. ओके. You dash borrow my book for a day. You can or you may. Okay, you can or you may means आपको परमिशन मिलती है. You may. Okay, you will or you would we can't say. We are talking about the present day, so we will use can or may. We are giving the permission. The day dash is hot. Again the present day is here. The subject is about the present day, so what we will do use is. If we are talking about the yesterday, so yesterday was hot day. Okay, we are talking about today, so we will use is. Dash you done your homework? Have you done your homework? So we are talking about the second person, so what we will use have. हम लोग सेकेंड पर्सन के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं ना, कि वी आर आस्किंग अ क्वेश्चन, सो व्हाट वी विल यूज हैव. डैश दे नो यू. डू दे नो यू means we are again here talking about that forms be, do and have. Means we are, if we are talking about the questions. Okay, so what we will use, we will use have you done your homework. If we are directly questioning the person in front, so what we will you, we will have you finished your homework, have you finished your lunch, have you done this, have you done that. So we will directly ask, start with the word have, with the auxiliary have. And if we are talking about the third person, so what we will use, do they know you. Okay, do, we will start with the word do. Now the kinds of verb. There are there are two kinds of verb. They are transitive verbs and intransitive verbs. Now the transitive verbs. A verb which takes an object to complete its sense, it is called a transitive verb. A verb is transitive if the action passes from the doer subject to the sufferer, that is object. Transitive means the passing over. This example, students are reading their lesson. In the above sentence, the action denoted by the verb are reading passes over from the students subjects, that is students, to the object lesson. The verb are reading is there for the transitive verb. Okay, so now how to know that, or how to see that, what is the transitive verb and which is the intransitive verb. So here we can see that in this simple sentence, the students are reading their lesson. So ट्रांजिटिव वर्ब्स में क्या होता है, थ्री टाइप्स होते हैं. ओके, थ्री पार्ट्स होते हैं, सब्जेक्ट, सफरर. ओके, टू पार्ट्स वी कैन से, एंड द थर्ड वन विल बी द वर्ब, ट्रांजिटिव वर्ब. So how to see that which verb is there? action is donated by the verb are reading. So this is simple, that reading or are reading is the, are is the auxiliary verb and reading is the verb. Okay, so passes over from the subject. What is the subject? The word, the sentence started with the students, so that will be the subject, to the object, that is lesson. Okay, so the sentence is parted into the three parts, that is the subject, verb and the object. The first word is the students, or students are subject, are reading is verb and lesson is object. The verb are reading is therefore transitive verbs. So transitive verbs को हम कैसे डिस्क्राइब करेंगे कि वहां पे देखेंगे सब्जेक्ट एंड ऑब्जेक्ट दोनों है उस सेंटेंस में, then the in between verb will be the transitive verb. Now we will see the intracetive verbs. Intracetive verbs. A verb which does not take an object after it, it is called at intracetive verbs. So a verb which does not take an object after it, it is called at intracetive verb. A verb intracetive if the action of the verb does not passes over from the door of or the subject to the sufferer, that is object. The action or state is complete in itself. The baby was sleeping. So here is the subject but not the object. अब यहाँ पे जब object नहीं होता and but the sentence is complete, we can say that without the object there will be no sentence. So what should be the sentence? Should be like, it should be having a subject and the verb. Example, the baby was sleeping. So the baby was sleeping on the bed. So bed will be the object and the baby will be the subject. लेकिन यहाँ पे on the bed लिखा है no. So अगर on the bed होता तो was sleeping क्या होता? Transitive verb. Means वो translate कर रहा है ना, subject से object की तरफ वो pass हो रहा है. Okay. So वो वैसा होता तो हम उसे transitive करते. तो इंट्रा इंट्रांसेटिव वर्ब कौन से होते हैं? जहाँ पे वो ट्रांसेटिव मीन्स वो वहां पे ये नहीं होता, एक्शन पास नहीं करता, एक सब्जेक्ट से ऑब्जेक्ट की तरफ पास नहीं होता. क्यों नहीं होगा? क्योंकि यहाँ पे ऑब्जेक्ट होता ही नहीं है. तो जिस सेंटेंस में ऑब्जेक्ट नहीं होता है उन्हें intransitive verbs कहते हैं. So in the above sentence the action stops with the door and does not passes from the door of anything else. The verb was sleeping therefore is intransitive verb. Okay, so ये बहुत सिंपल था. जिस सब्जेक्ट जिस सेंटेंस में सब्जेक्ट एंड ऑब्जेक्ट दोनों होते हैं तो वो जो मिडल में जो वर्ब होता है उसे हम ट्रांजिटिव वर्ब कहते हैं, क्योंकि वो पासिंग ओवर कर रहा होता है सब्जेक्ट से ऑब्जेक्ट्स के बीच में. ओके, एंड जिस सेंटेंस में ऑब्जेक्ट होते ही नहीं है, ओके, ऑब्जेक्ट विल बी द लास्ट वर्ड. ओके, सो वो वहां पे होता ही नहीं है प्रेजेंट बट द सेंटेंस इज कंप्लीट. सो वहां पे हम क्या कहेंगे? दैट इज intransitive verb. So example, underline the verbs in the following sentences. Mention whether the verbs are transitive or intransitive. You may use T for transitive and I for intransitive. So we will see. The woman was frightened. Now was will be the auxiliary verb here, or verb we can say. The woman will be the subject and frightened will be the, okay, the woman was frightened. Okay, so here the it will be the so the woman was frightened. Okay, so this will be the intransitive verb. Why? Because we have seen that there is no object. Okay, the woman is the subject and was frightened was the verb. Okay, frightened means dar jana. So it is showing that it is a doing. Okay, she is doing something. It is an action word. It is an action word. So that will be the verb. सो वहां पे कोई ऑब्जेक्ट नहीं है, सो दो जो एक्शन वर्ड है, जो वर्ब है, वो कहीं पे ट्रांजिट नहीं हो रहा है, सो दैट विल बी द इंट्रांजिटिव वर्ब. ओके, नाउ द नेक्स्ट वन, someone should someone should feed, feed the baby, so that will be the transitive verb, because it is someone is the subject, should feed is the verb, and the baby is the object. They are at our service, so they is the subject, are is the, so are at our service is the verb, so that is the intransitive service. यहाँ पे कोई object नहीं है. Okay, the human beings need oxygen, so that is yeah, the human beings needs oxygen, so that will be the transitive transitive verbs. Why? Because human beings is the object, need is the verb, and oxygen is the object in this sentence, so need will be the transitive verbs. Now, he visited the ancient temples. He will be the subject, visited will be the verbs, and the ancient temples will be the object, so therefore it is the transitive verb. Adarsh heard the cry of the child, so this will be the transitive, because Adarsh is the subject here, heard will be the verb, and the child will be the cry of the child will be the object. Okay, the man awarded his faithful dog, so the man will be the subject, and awarded will be the action word, and faithful dog will be the object. So these types we have to uh, दिस टाइप से हमको क्या करना है कि डिफ्रेंशिएट करना है ट्रांजिटिव एंड इन ट्रांजिटिव वर्ब्स के बीच में. रिमेंबर द पॉइंट्स टू रिमेंबर, द वर्ब्स हैव द टेंसेस पास्ट, प्रेजेंट एंड फ्यूचर. सो वर्ब कैन बी इन past tense, present tense, or future tense also, just like written, or we can say awarded. All these are we can say past tense, and need can be, we can say, present or future tense. Okay, now forms of verb. I'm going to send this picture. There are four main forms of verb in English grammar. There are present, past, there are present participle, past, and past participle. Means a list of different forms of verbs commonly used are given below. So beat, present participle beating, past beat, and the past participle beaten. Okay, begin, beginning, began, begun. So this will be the words of the chart. Means present means at this moment. Present participle means यहाँ पे हो रहा है. Okay, it is continuing something. Past means वो हो चुका है, and past participle मीन्स वो पहले, बहुत पहले हो चुका है. ओके, मीन्स इफ यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट बिफोर 1 hour, वी कैन से इट बिगेन, वो पहले शुरू हो चुका था लेकिन अभी भी कंटिन्यू है. ओके, मीन्स हमने इंग्लिश ग्रामर वी हैव बिगेन इंग्लिश ग्रामर फ्रॉम 1st of July, बिगेन. ओके, एंड अगर हम कहें कि हमारा इंग्लिश ग्रामर का पूरी टेक्स्ट बुक सिखा के हो चुकी है, सो वी हैव बिगन, या मतलब पूरी टेक्स्ट बुक हो गया, हम फिर से उसे स्टार्ट नहीं करने वाले, या फिर वो फिर से कंटिन्यू नहीं होने वाला है. ओके, फॉर दिस ईयर इट इज ओवर, सो व्हाट वी विल यूज, इट वाज बिगन at this date, so we can use these words. Okay, that's like that, bite, biting, bit, and bitten. Okay, so these types of words are there. You have to learn this. Now we will see. So this table you have to write and learn in your notebook. Now the exercise number 8.3, complete the following table. So just see this table and complete this table. So I'm going to send this picture also. You have to complete this table. Just you have to write the correct form in the correct column. that is the correct form of forgot is there. So we have to write the present tense, that is forget, present participle forgetting, and the past participle forgotten. Okay, so these types we have to complete the table. Then complete the following table. Again you have to see the table, and then you have to complete this table. That is say, past tense will be said, past participle will be again said, and the present participle will be the saying. I am going to erase all these things and just you have to write again in your notebook. Rewrite the following tenses using the past forms of the word in the brackets. So the past form, so that is very easy. You have to just if the past form is not mentioned in the table, so you can just see and write there. Dash is funny insect that you did not often find. Okay, so in bracket we have to just convert it into the past form. So what will be the past tense of is? It will be was. Lives, lived. Visits, visited. Welcome, welcomed. Give, gave. Spoil, spoiled. Then grow, grew. Yelled, yielded. Work, worked. Dance, danced. Just add ed. Okay, that is very simple. And there here is run, that will be ran. Okay, just see the table, and if it is not in the very table you can just add ed. And if you are then only also confused, you can call me for that. Now home assignment, work, write past participle and present participle forms of the verb listed below. Apply, bend, dance. Just you have to write the past participle and present participle. These are all these present tense. Okay, so apply, what will be the past tense? Applied. Okay, just lied. Then bend, bended. These types you have to write. The present participle you have to add the ing into it. Try to complete your homework. If you are facing any kind of problems, you can call me. Okay, do complete your homework.